After 3 years of waiting, the Kirk Cousins sweepstakes is for real. Yes, Kirk Cousins has hit the market. I mean, everyone has known this for almost a month now. And when it comes to it all, there's quite a few teams in this boiling pot that could definitely land a quarterback who could be the next Drew Brees and bring one of these teams a title. Now, when it comes to all, I'm going to start out with the teams that are the least likely to get them to the teams that are most likely to get them, or at least when they get them, to have the most impact on the rest of the NFL. So the team that's least likely to get them is the Cleveland Browns. Obviously, they heard the first overall pick. Yes, I know Hugh Jackson is not a great coach. I'll probably bring him up later on the video, but he at least knows that when he has a first overall pick, he at least knows who's going to be the first overall pick reasonably. It's Sam Darnold. He's going to pick Sam Darnold, most pro-ready quarterback, obviously. He's going to go after him. Now, the next team would be the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills have a productive quarterback in Tyrod Taylor, but the Bills clearly do not like Tyrod Taylor. Yes, once they started Nathan Peterman ahead of Tyrod Taylor, there's no way that Tyrod Taylor seems like he was going to be their franchise guy. And it looks like Tyrod Taylor might be shipped out the door and all of that. It's not really clear. They're not really putting Taylor on the trading block or whatnot. They just might not want to rush it. However, if they find a quarterback in mind, they will easily replace him. And I think another team that's mine would be the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the Arizona Cardinals, the reason why I put them a little bit ahead of the Browns and the Bills is just because the Cardinals are known for going after quarterbacks in free agency. Obviously, they got one of my guys in free agency, Kurt Warner. Definitely love that guy. He was great. Hall of Famer, deserves it. And then he went after Kevin Kolb, who I thought was going to be good, but Kevin Kolb's just Matt Castle, just 2.0. He just sucked. And then they went after Carson Palmer. Not a guy I really like as a quarterback. However, though, he was productive unfairly. I think if you go with Kirk Cousins, I think that would be interesting right there. And the reason why I put the Cardinals ahead of them, you get a wide receiver like Larry Fitzgerald, just a great teammate just to be around. Has a lot of skill type, and he might still be able to play. I mean, he has been a little bit of an ageless wonder, and obviously if he loses his speed, he's not going to be completely reliant on it. The guy was never a speedster, never will be, never was, and I give us some props right there. And also David Johnson, one hell of a running back. Obviously, a lot of people, when they look at the great running backs, people forgot about David Johnson this year. Why? Well, because he was injured and the Cardinals kind of swept their ways into irrelevancy. And I think that could be definitely a good spot for them. Also, they play in a dome. I think this is the one team that has a dome that's kind of in the sweepstakes right here. And I think that a lot of people don't look at the Cardinals, but I at least would look at them just because of their history when it comes to quarterbacks. And not only that, just because they're not a terrible organization. They have some pretty good stuff right here. And I think they could have enough cap to play for them. They might not, but I think they could kind of sugarcoat especially. But hey, I still think that they can be in play for Kirk Cousins. And another team that comes to mind is the New York Jets. New York Jets can have those big dollar bills. They got the draft picks. And if they pay Kirk Cousins a ton of money, they can still bring in some weapons around him with them. Now, the one downside about Kirk Cousins is he will definitely be playing under Todd Bowles. Is that a regression from Dre Gruden? I don't really know. He looks better when he was under Sean McVay, but Sean McVay clearly does not need a quarterback. I think they're very well happy with Jared Goff back there in LA. And when it comes to it all, I definitely think that the Jets, I don't think they have that great weapons. I mean, I think their best weapon, in my opinion, is Bly Powell. He's like a receiving back you could kind of compare him to a Chris Thompson, but it's not ultra impressive right there. And just because the Jets, they kind of run like a meritocracy when it comes to quarterbacks, even if he goes to the Jets. And there's still a high chance that he will. I'm not sure how successful he would be. Now, the next one in line would be the Denver Broncos. Now, it comes to the Denver Broncos. When he targeted Peyton Manning, John Elway, when he targeted him, he was obviously a free agency signing. I think he could do that, Kirk Cousins. A lot of people look at the cap, like, oh, the cap space. Cap is crap. Sometimes you can make room for a lot of these guys. Hell, the Cardinals could even make some room with them. But if there's one team that can definitely make room for them, it's the Denver Broncos. They still have enough money to pay for them right there. Denver Broncos were Super Bowl champions 2 years ago, believe it or not, even though they're 3-13 right now. But the one downside about going to the Denver Broncos is that offense. And a lot of people say, well, they just need a quarterback. They just need a quarterback. That is true, but going 10-6 does not necessarily put you on top of the Super Bowl. I'm sure they do have a fairly high pick, but hell, they still need to draft an offensive line right there. They still need to get receivers. I mean, I like Emmanuel Sanders. He's just old, guys. He's an old man. And C.J. Anderson, people are really high on C.J. Anderson, and I get it. He's a Denver running back. Ever since the Shanahan era, they've been good with running backs. However, though, I don't think it will be that great. And it would be a pretty smooth transition. I will give him that, but he's with Vance Joseph. And I think a lot of people look at Kirk Cousins as just like, oh, you're getting a veteran quarterback. This guy isn't fully polished yet. This guy can be. He just needs to take it to the next level. And he really just needs to. Like, he's around the Matt Ryan era or like the Cam Newton era. And the guy, yeah, he could be a franchise quarterback, but I really think he could take it to the next level. I don't think Vance Joseph can do it. I really don't. So there is a little bit of a turnout. But, hey, John Elway, Hall of Famer. I think he's a good guy to listen to, so it's still in there. And then my next team is the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, sad news for Case Keenum, where the franchise tag was completely lifted, or they announced that they weren't even going to put it on him. Anyway, Case Keenum's not going to be a Viking in 2018. Kirk Cousins is what they're into for the sweepstake. Now, when it comes to the Vikings, never been a big free agency team. However, though, they definitely do have some guys that aren't really paid yet. I don't think Adam Thielen has a big contract. And I look at a lot of guys that a lot of them are either young rookies or like Harrison Smith's one of these guys. He did a lot of re-signings here or there. Hell, they could still sign a max guy. Kirk Cousins one of those max guys. And if he goes to Minnesota, you're talking about going to a team with a very good defense, some nice weapons, a nice offense in general, not just weapons alone. And when it comes to it and all, he gets a good coach in Mike Zimmer, probably the best coach out of all the guys in there. Probably second would be Sean McDermott, or maybe even or one of those guys. I think Sean McDermott would probably be my second guy, but I would say Mike Zimmer is definitely my first guy right there. Not a great offensive mind. I'm not sure how great he is. I think he's been pretty good lately, but he did say Hugh Jackson's a good offensive coordinator, so it's either he is just being manipulated by Hugh Jackson's charisma, or he's just stupid. I'm going to say he's manipulative by Hugh Jackson's charisma. Yes, Hugh Jackson's an evil man. There's a reason why he has a scar on his side of his face. He's like the villain from The Lion King. That's Hugh Jackson right there. And when it comes to it all, I think that with the Vikings, it would be the best fit. I definitely think Kirk Cousins is a competitor. I see it in him. I think the Vikings are the team that actually most likely get him. But what do you guys think? Leave your comments down below. Now, obviously, I might talk a little bit about Case Keenum. And Case Keenum might be in it for some of the teams I mentioned. Also be about other teams that might be hungry for a quarterback right here. And also, I've been doing a lot of work on Lamar Jackson. There's a lot of things I want to talk about Lamar Jackson and all that. And I can't wait for you guys to keep talking about it. And stay tuned on this channel because free agency is coming up. And I think that's where my channel does best. So hope to see you then. So I'll see you guys next time. Peace.